I have to be a dork. Okay, guys. So we are continuing on from Llewellyn's Sabbath Essentials, Rituals, Recipes, and Lores for Halloween from Samhain or Samhain, or how it's actually Samhain. But some goofy people say Samhain, like some people say Hecate, and I'm like,
We all pronounce it.
duh. Oh, yeah. Let me show y'all before I start reading the new book I got, which I'm planning to get some other new books. This is from Kate Fowler. And I recently just got this book, and I'm pet next. I love this book. Of Blood and Bones, working with Shadow of the Dark Moon. I don't know if I'm going to read from this book or if I'm just going to type from it.
Because people in the group is not.
I don't know if anybody's ready for this kind of stuff in my group or not.
Some people, no.
But I can tell y'all a little bit about this book before I start reading about Samhain. If y'all are curious about this book, because it sounds like it's a mystery book, but then I'll tell you a little bit of the back sequence of it, a little bit about it. It says, witches are light, dark, and everything in between, which is true. This book's original recipes, brilliant insights, and damn potent spells can be utilized by occultists of all varieties. This is the real deal. Raven Diggles, author of Esoteric Empathy. Learn to work with the magic of the dark moon. Shadow magic occupies a critical but often misunderstood role in the rich history of witchcraft. This book explores topics such as the ethical use of animal parts and bones, blood magic, dark moon energy, and other rarely discussed aspects of witchcraft. With the focus on ethical sourcing materials and suggests for plant-based substitutions, author Kate Fowler provides much needed information and hands-on techniques to help you strengthen your witchcraft practice, connect to nature, protect yourself and your kith and kin, and know yourself in a deep way. Within these pages, you will also discover methods for hexing, scrying, sex magic, and working with dark deities, in addition to magical use of graveyard dirt and performing spells to assist the crossing of dying loved ones. The shadow work of explored in Blood and Bones reminds us that not everything is love and light, and that facing the dark side supports the quest to achieve spiritual wholeness. Kate Fowler has been practicing witchcraft for over 25 years. She has written for Llewellyn's Magic Almanac, Sabbath's Almanac, and Spell a Day Almanac. Kate owns and operates an online store called White Moon Witchcraft. She lives near Toronto. Visit her online store at www.whitemoonwitchcraft.com. Now, I'm going to tell y'all one thing.
Hold on.
You get this book, I warn you now, ahead of time. You get it and you play with some of these things and you don't know what you're doing, I'm not held accountable. Because a lot of those things, I understand some of the things, like I've told before in a lot of my videos, you give what you give. And if you take from something, you have to give and you have to take. And sometimes it's from people around you and different things. You have to understand how to work with paying it forward. And that works with that. And you can't look down at magic and do that. You can't come gung-ho into witchcraft and just go to something like that. Go, oh, I'm going to be a dark witch. I want to work with that. No, you have to study for a long time before you dive. You have to really study hard before diving into that, because that's where I dove into first, but that's kind of where my family line sinks into anyway. That's where I could have stayed, but I decided not to. I work, like I said, light and dark. That's that's the lines I cross. But what?
Number one, it's like I've told them before. Okay, it's balanced, yes. But the thing of it is us as teachers, we have to we have to learn about that. I mean, as part of our path anyway, we have to go in there, we have to learn a little bit of everything. For them to understand stuff like this, there's nothing wrong with them reading it and learning it and knowing about it, but that doesn't mean they have to practice it, okay? And it's not for them to judge other people who do this.
Yeah.
I mean, like the people that's in voodoo, the people that's in voodoo, the people that do practice dark magic and black magic, there's a reason why these people are there. There's some people, yeah, that are doing it for the wrong reasons. But there's some people that's doing it for the correct
Yeah,
reasons.
like we have friends that are voodoo practitioners. We have friends that are hoodoo practitioners.
But
We have, I mean, you have to understand, people that are voodoo practitioners, they actually are Christian, believe it or
a
not.
lot of them are,
They have
yeah.
Christian beliefs because not only do they have a papa and a mama, but they also follow God. And they also do a lot of Christian stuff. And you guys don't understand that a lot of the stuff that they do, they go after a lot of bad people. So you don't sit there and judge them for a lot of the stuff they do because they put a lot of self-harm on themselves to actually help people. And when they go to die, they have a physical war on their body when they do stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff fighting over their bodies. Just like curanderos and curanderas and shamans, you guys don't understand the things that they have to go through for the people that they've helped. That there's a lot of good and bad things fighting over their body, and not only just their body, but they're trying to come and collect their soul, and they're trying to see, who's going to take their soul, whichever way it goes. And their soul know where it's going to go, but they're sitting there trying to bait it because, they're just like, hey, you come work with us. We can actually give you this and that and blah, 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 blah. Believe me, there's different things on the other side of life that a lot of people don't know about. And you can actually go and ask someone that practices this stuff, and they can tell you that I'm not selling you no fake shit. And that's why I'm studying everything. And am I scared of it? No. You cannot be scared of this stuff and study it, because if you're scared of it, then it's going to come after you. So actually, I'm drawn to it. I'm intrigued by it. It's interesting to me because it's part of who I am, and all of it is the same thing. And it's all coming from my area of expertise. So if y'all go into this, you guys can study it as much as you want. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with reading it. But once you start practicing it and thinking that is who you are, I'm not telling you to go out and buy the book and, oh, yes, I'm a dark witch and I'm black magic and blah, 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 blah. You want to follow that dark path and thinking you're all big and bad and you're going to go cast dark spells on people and you're going to go hex them and you're going to go do this and go do that and you're going to start doing all this stuff and thinking that you can hold it off and you don't know what you're doing, your whole family, including yourself, is going to pay for it. And your friends are going to pay for it. And not just that, it's going to be times that. It's going to be in your next life and then some. I'm seeing it happening to people that my mom used to work with in groups that they think that they've got it covered. I'm seeing a lot of their family members suffering, that they're not paying attention to it, that they're playing games right now. They're talking a lot of trash, and I'm watching them still. I'm a watcher. Not only am I a teacher, I'm a watcher. I watch a lot of these ones that claim to be priestess and teachers and, practitioners, ex-friends.
Okay, thank you.
No, I said ex-friends.
Okay, I thought you said friends.
So I pay attention to a lot of these people, and some of them are on YouTube, and I watch them very closely. And it's for a good reason, because some of them tread people down the wrong path, and I'm just seeing where they tread people, because some people I might need to throw a safety net to. And that's if something tells me to. And sometimes I need to. And something tells me to do it because there's younger children involved. There's a larger family involved. And if I don't, it's going to be a large family consumed, and the consumption by magic, it can be pretty bad. It can be pretty hefty. And a lot of these witches playing these games don't really realize this is something that is soul bound, spiritual bound. This is something that is in the bones, it's in the blood, it's in the soul, it's in the spirit. Um, it's for real. And that's why I'm telling everybody that, that's why a lot of people call us evil and misunderstood. We want to help people, but also we're not here to play games. I'm not trying to judge people. I'm watching people. And if I need to help people, I do. Now, people's heard me say that I put hexes and curses on people. Yeah. Do I still do it? Yes. But it's for those that really, 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 really deserve it. And it takes a lot to get me on that level. And people can consider me a gray witch. They consider me a black witch. I'm pagan. I am balance. Okay. That's the line I'm on. I teach Wiccan. I teach witchcraft. I can teach Santeria. I can teach all over the rainbow because of everything I've studied. And do I look down my nose at any of them? No. Because I'm open to every single one of them. I'm studying every single one of them. I practice pretty much every single one of them. So I just wanted to express that with the books I'm showing and give a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of intake and outtake. Because I'm noticing there's still a little hypocrisy going on here and there. But I'm still not going to interfere because it's not my place to interfere. And I'm not going
While
to.
you're talking, there's something I want to express. To express to the group for me, since I can't do it right now.
Huh.
Because I've been talking to my admins about it.
Okay.
There's something else that's getting ready to happen big.
Yeah, I've been filling the pool.
I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the election or not. The elders are not talking to me or any of the other ones that I talked to yet. They're talking to each other, but they ain't talking to. Hold on.
Just get ready. If Donald
They're
Trump
not talking to us, but they're talking to each other. They're not talking. It's just like last year. But the thing of it is, this year it's even bigger than it was last year. Let alone that COVID is coming around again. This time it's twice as bad as it was the last time. So people need to stop and take notice of that one. They do need to pay attention to this election. They need to make sure that their voice is heard, but heard in the right way. They need to pay attention to who they're voting for. Make sure they're voting for the right reason. Two, they need to make sure they're paying attention to reality, the real things. They need to pay attention to what's going on around them. If they're got any prejudice in their heart whatsoever, they need to stop and look at why they are prejudiced against other people. There should be no prejudice in any witch's heart. A witch is not supposed to hate their brothers, no matter what color they are. A witch is not supposed to have hatred of any kind. We are not supposed to hate. We are supposed to love one another. We are supposed to be here to help, to aid, to care, to heal the sick. If you have hatred, you are not a witch.
Yeah.
So you better stop and think about that. You're going to kill our earth by hatred. Witches are here for love, and that's what we're all about. And so you better stop thinking about it. You better think before you vote of what your heart is built on. If you got any prejudice in your heart, you're not a fucking witch. And I tell you, if you're prejudiced, I don't really want you on my page anymore. And I'm honest, the numbers don't mean jack shit to me.
Yeah, we don't care.
The other ones, I don't need the numbers. I'd rather have you here by honesty, by love, nothing else. because I don't like fake people. I hate fake, excuse me, I'm using the wrong term. I don't
We
like
dislike.
fake people. Fake people annoy me to no what's in. I have no need for you. Okay? So if you're racist, you're prejudiced, or anything like that, where, oh, I don't like this person because of this, they're poor, or I don't like this person because they're black, they're brown, they're yellow, their eyes are slanted, they're fat, or, whatever your excuse is, get off of my page. Okay? I don't need you.
Yeah, we're not trying to run no popularity scam here.
I don't need
We're not
people
trying
like
to
that.
get like 10,000
I
people
want
or anything.
People who love everybody. Okay? That's what witches are about. Yeah, we were like the 60s. We were all about the flower power, the love, the peace, the happiness. That's who we were. That's who we're going to be again. We're going to be the ones who's going to empower the world when all the other haters, when all you other haters are dead and gone. We're going to be the one who's going to still be here. So you know what? If you're a hater, get off my page because, I'm not going to heal you. Because your hatred's going to bring you down to your knees. And you know what? I'm not going to be the one that's going to come lift you up. Because I don't want to heal a hater to come back and bring the hatred back to this world again. Because we don't have no need for haters in this world. We really don't. Y'all keep destroying our earth. You keep destroying our planet. I mean, you're destroying it. Look at the world, how it looks. Oh, yeah, let's keep all this fossil fuel ruining this planet, killing the people, giving them cancer. We don't care.
My husband's been using an eco fuel, and it's far better.
They don't care. They don't care. You know what? I don't care what you think about me. I do not like Donald Trump. He does not care. He's all about the money. That's all he's about is money. Yeah, Joe Biden's an old man. Oh, yeah, he slips and makes mistakes. So what?
So does Donald Trump.
Yeah. At least he don't have to spray himself orange, I mean, Donald Trump is a liar. He's a thief. He steals from people. I would like to be the one to get up there and tell him when he loses this election, you're fired.
Hell yeah. I
would love to tell him he's fired. I don't like him. He's pompous. I'll stop.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be about reading a book.
I'll stop. All I'm saying is y'all need to pay attention to what's going on. The vibration is very high. It's getting higher. What's about to happen is going to be worse than it's ever been. We're going to probably have the biggest civil war ever in America. I got the feeling that's what it's going to be. It's going to be another civil war. And I'm thinking it's going to be bad. And y'all need to pay attention to what's going to go on. And it's going to be brother against brother. And I don't mean black against white. I mean brother against brother. There's going to be families that, you know what, you're racist. I don't care about you anymore. It's going to be just like that. Your brother's going to come tell you to your face, I don't care about you because you're racist. I don't want nothing to do with you anymore. And that's exactly how it's going to be. Think about it. Does your family accept you because you hate black and white? You hate black people. Maybe you got a family member that's married to another person of another color and you don't appreciate it. That could be, another black person or another white person, because there's black people that don't like white people. It doesn't matter which one you are. If you're racist of any kind, it's wrong. So you need to stop and think about it. If you hate another race, you are wrong. You have to love your brother, no matter what color they are, because we all bleed the same blood. Understand that. When we die, we're all going to go to one place. Y'all believe in your heaven, y'all believe in your hell. Okay, let me tell you what, it's not the way y'all are believing it's going to be. Okay, it's not going to be the way you believe. We got different ways that it's handled, and I can explain to you on another day. But anyway, I'm just telling you, before that election gets here, y'all better think hard and wise before y'all Cast that vote. All right, back to Tabitha.
I think I messed up.
Why?
Here, check that. I think I foobed it.
What? Where? Where?
You might need to put your glasses on. Yeah, she kind of ended there. So hopefully,
Back to Tabitha.
I know. All right. Anyway, okay. Here's the book, y'all. Okay, Samhain. Now we're on Samhain 107. If y'all have the book, y'all can follow along. If not, y'all can just listen to me like we're in class. Samhain has a rich visual and sensual themes that some people don't want to put the skeletons back in their closet when it's over. If you prefer gothic motifs for your home, this is certainly the season to shop. If you're someone who prefers to change decor to reflect the seasons, take advantage of Halloween's commercial popularity. Me, I'm the type of person that really likes the whole thing, so all this is staying up all year round. I don't care. So, this is the time I shop for home decorations all the time. So, this is when I shop for like the whole year round period. So, yeah. My foot. Whether you go ready, handmade, or whether you go ready-made or handmade, you can grab the last of the late harvest foods for your ancestral meal and stock up black candles, and no one will think twice about cackling as you do it. Yes. While Halloween may have a reputation for all the sugar highs, there are plenty of traditional dishes that allow you to sidestep the excess sweetness and embrace the season. Recipes. The last of the harvest comes in just before Samhain. The dishes of Samhain are often an effort to use up the food that did not get preserved and to make the most of fresh food while you can. Kale, apples, nuts, and grains form the flavor of rich Halloween traditions. You can do kale chips. Kale in the recent years has become a heath food darling. It is also in integral to Samhain. Integral. It still grows late into the fall. Should you sneak into someone's yard and steal a kale stalk to see what kind of person you might marry, you might as well eat it when done. Just because kale is healthy does not mean you can't enjoy it. This recipe poses it as a replacement for the potato chip. It may take a few tries as you figure out what temperature your oven your oven plays best with the plant. But once you master that, you can revel in the happy crunch of a well toasted leaf. Ingredients: 1 bunch of kale, 2 tablespoons olive or sunflower oil. I would say sunflower oil because that would taste really good.
It does.
Sea salt to season to taste.
Yes.
Preheat your oven to 275 Fahrenheit, or if you do your Celsius, if you're in another country, it'll probably be like 10 to 60 degrees Celsius, maybe a little bit higher depending. Probably about 60 Celsius, 50 Celsius. Thoroughly wash the kale, then remove the center stem. Also called the rib, that little riblet, and cut leaves into 1 inch or larger pieces. You may wish to blot any excess water. Toss into a bowl with the oil until the kale has an even coating. Sprinkle the sea salt, bake for 10 minutes or until crisp. Then flip over and bake the other side. Serve hot or cold. Another option is to flavor the chips with a spice mix before baking. You could probably also put them in a dehydrator. That would probably be like a really good crispness. I didn't think about that, is put them in a dehydrator. That would probably turn them into a really good crisp potato chip. Is a dehydrator if you have one. That would probably be a really good quick Halloween treat. Dehydrated kale chips in a dehydrator with like some really good seasoning. You could probably do like a Cajun one. You could do kind of like a fruity flavor one, like maybe with like some orange peel, lemon zest, maybe with some sunflower oil, sunflower seeds, like, put it on top of it, but, different things like that. Baked apples. Oh, God. Apples are everywhere at Samhain. No lie. Using games such as bobbing and biting for apple peel divinations, and for pulling apart and test of strength. Ingredients: apple cord, 1 for each person you are serving, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup per apple, 1 tablespoon of raisins per apple, 1 teaspoon of allspice, cinnamon, or ground cloves. You could probably put a little bit of all that together. That'd probably like bomb diggity. Set the cord apples in a ramekin or glass dish on a microwave safe plate in a bowl. Mix the raisins, maple syrup, and allspice and allspice and spices until evenly distributed. Fill the apple, microwave on high for 2 minutes per apple. If using an oven, preheat oven to 375 Fahrenheit. Again, it's probably about 50 to 60 Celsius if you're in the UK. Bake filled apples into a glass dish or in individual cups for 10 to 13 minutes. Apple curry soup. That sounds interesting. This may look vaguely like applesauce, but it's much more complex. Ingredients: 5 to 6 large apples, cored and sliced into 1/4 inch pieces, 2 cups water, 2 tablespoons sweet curry, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 1 tablespoon allspice, 1 tablespoon chili powder. Ooh. Combine all the ingredients into a crock pot and cook on low overnight. In small batches, pour ingredients into a food processor and puree. Pour the puree back into the pot and reheat for an hour. Serve warm. Have you heard of apple curry soup?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a recipe for it, actually.
They actually got one in the book. Pumpkin seeds, which I really do want to make. Pumpkin seeds are ambiguous at Samhain season. So I'm actually probably going to grab me a pumpkin this week.
I know how to make pumpkin seeds.
So much so that it's easy to be overwhelmed. And I've been overwhelmed by pumpkin seeds because I've actually burnt them by accident. And I'm a cook. How is that possible? Excuse me. While pumpkin pie is usually the first and favorite go-to, you can try pumpkin in just about any recipe that calls for squash, which we actually have a squash.
That's squash. We do.
Pumpkin! Or use it in your favorite baking recipe as a substitute for butter and sometimes as a substitute for flour. This will take some trial and error. The rule for pumpkin seeds is this: the bigger the pumpkin, the bigger the seeds. That also comes with the price of pulp. There is, however, a way to remove that pulp without losing your mind. Well, actually, I had fun playing with the pulp. I had a pulp throwing contest. I had Alex covered in it. He actually got mad at me. Then I had pulp boogers. I was like, "Rrr." When you clean out the pumpkin pulp, place the seeds and pulp in a large bowl. I did. Rinse under water, picking out the large pieces of pulp as you go. Repeat this process a few times, removing the pulp as able. Once you have gotten as much as you can from this method, fill the bowl with as much water as it can contain. The seeds will float to the top.
Are you going to do May elections? May elections are city and state.
Yes, I do, because I want to be able to get
Okay.
Mayor Juana in the city. Okay. While the pulp sinks, you can then skim out and dry the seeds off with a bit of paper towel.
Actually, you didn't do this at all.
Oh, okay.
I got to do this with still.
Okay, cool.
I got to get mine done too.
Ingredients: 1 to 2 cups of pumpkin seeds, 1 to 2 cups of olive oil or sunflower oil, salt to taste. Preheat oven to 300 Fahrenheit, again, about 40 to probably about 60 Celsius, depending on where you're at. In a bowl, toss the seeds with oil, then salt to taste. Spread seeds evenly on baking sheet. Bake for about 45 minutes, checking and stirring every 15 minutes to ensure even browning. Allow to cool. Eat as a snack or use as a garnish in salads, soups, and sandwiches. Salads for sure.
Just eat them by themselves.
Oh, yeah. I would actually have to just core them out of the shell and just eat them like that, like I do my others. Oh, my God. I wish they would do that. Have just the pumpkin seed out of the shell like they do that at my sunflower seeds. Oh, my God. Yes.
Actually, you can eat the whole pumpkin seed. If you cook them right, you don't have to be quartered.
Do I get them crunchy enough? Oh. Okay. Pumpkin puree. While many cooks prefer to get their pumpkin puree from a can, it often comes pre-seasoned in ways that do not cooperate with dishes besides desserts. To make this, you will need to cook the pumpkin shell. You will need at least 1 small pumpkin to make the puree. Ingredients: 1 small pumpkin. Preheat the oven to 350 Fahrenheit, so that's probably about 45 Celsius. Slice the top off a pumpkin, then scoop out the innards like you would any squash. Rinse off the flesh pieces, cutting them into 5 or 6 inch slices, and spread them out on a baking sheet. Bake for 45 minutes. Check about halfway through to make sure they are brown instead of burnt. Or burn. I say burnt because it just looks like it needs a T.
Got some pumpkin ganache over here too. The gargonzola cheese.
That actually sounds kind of good. Remove and cool until you can touch them comfortably. At this point, you can easily peel off the pumpkin skin with your hands using a knife to scrape off any small stubborn bits. Place the remaining shell in a blender or a food processor, a few pieces at a time, and puree. Add a little water as you do this to ensure a smooth blend. You may wish to work over the puree with a potato ricer after it goes through the food processor to smooth out any remaining chunks. You can freeze this until you need it. Pumpkin biscuit. Ingredients: 1 whole onion chopped, 1 garlic minced, 1 tablespoon butter, 1 cup pumpkin puree, 1/4 cup water, half a teaspoon cinnamon, half a teaspoon chili powder, a few strands of saffron, optional, a whole cup milk unsweetened yogurt. In a saucepan, saute the onions and the garlic in the butter until they brown. Add the pumpkin puree, water, and spices and boil. Reduce heat immediately and simmer for 5 minutes, gradually adding the yogurt. Serve warm. Pan de muerte. Bread of the dead. Bread is the ultimate ancestral food. It is the marker of human agricultural history. It represents the point at which humans begin to inhabit one area of land for a long time, and the time at which they changed their diets from hunter-gatherer to farmed fare. In Samhain, breads and cakes bore many traditions ranging from fortune-telling to fairy packs. Now, it's another tasty treat whether we keep it to ourselves or share. This bread is often served as a part of Dias de Muerte celebration as an offering of food to the departed ancestors that their families may also enjoy. What makes it tricky is that the baker rolls it into something resembling a skeleton shape before baking. You may want to practice on clay or Play Doh a few times before you make this.
Most definitely. It
Ingredient
ends up looking like something else.
looks like caca. Okay, so half a cup of milk, 6 tablespoons unsalted butter cut into half-inch pieces, 1/4 tablespoon orange juice, 1 tablespoon orange blossom water, 3 large eggs lightly beaten, 1/4 tablespoon active dry yeast, 1/2 cup unbleached all-purpose flour, half a cup granulated sugar. Coconut sugar also works here. 1 tablespoon salt, sunflower oil as needed, butter, honey, powdered sugar optional. Preheat oven to 350 Fahrenheit or about 50 to 40 Celsius. In a saucepan, melt together the milk, butter, and orange juice. Take off of heat and cool until it feels safe to touch. Add the orange blossom water and whisk in the eggs. Add yeast to this mixture. Let the mixture stand until it bubbles slightly, usually in 3 or 4 minutes. On a clean, flat work surface, mix together the flour, sugar, and salt. Make a small mound out of the mix and then with your finger create a well in the center of it. Add a little bit of the milk and yeast mixture. Work the flour and pausing to add a little bit more and at a time until the liquid and the solids are incorporated. Knead until the dough is only a little bit sticky. Add flour as necessary. Put the dough in a large oiled bowl and cover with a clean dish towel. Leave in a warm spot until the dough doubles in size. This usually takes about an hour. Making the skeleton parts. Set aside a portion of the dough the size of 2 dinner rolls and a
Uh-uh.
dinner rolls is good.
No.
No. Divide the remaining dough onto 2 greased or lined baking sheets and flattened. Sorry. Use the reserved dough to shape your skeleton impressions. There is no specific rule for how to shape the skeleton. You might shape all the dough into a single skull and then use your fingers to shape a face. You could also separate the dough into larger balls and one smaller ball. On one of the 2 larger balls, roll out a pillar and then shape the ends like a cartoon bone. Repeat this on the other large piece of dough and then lay that bone over the top of the other bone in the form of a cross. Take the smaller piece of the dough and roll it into a ball. Use your thumbs to push 2 eye impressions into one area. And with a toothpick, shape out the nose, holes, and teeth. If you check sites such as allrecipes.com or Pan de Muertos, you can see that the cooks generally go for the impressions of a skeleton rather than a precise creation. Once you have shaped the dough as you wish, place the bread on the center rack of the oven, cooking for 30 to 40 minutes or until golden brown. You may wish to garnish the bread after with a brush of melted butter and honey or powdered sugar. Sugar skulls. Unlike pan de muertos, sugar skulls are intended only as food for the dead. After making them, place them on the gravesites of the departed loved ones or leave them outside for the elements to consume. If you live in an area with fire ants or bees, choose a place far from any residents to leave them. Also, Since sugar is much more difficult to shape than bread, invest in a silicone mold for this. Try to get the more realistic, toothy type mold. The cartoonish skull and crossbone shapes tend to crumble on the way out. Also, choose a low humidity day to make these. Otherwise, the ingredients may crumble and lose their shape. This recipe is intended for a small batch mold rather than a large scale molds that are also available. Ingredients: 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon meringue, meringue powder or cream of tartar, 1 tablespoon of water or more may need to add as you go. Then it makes sense. Colored icings, beads, feathers, etc. for decorations. Meringue,
Meringue.
meringue. Okay. In a large bowl, mix the sugar and the meringue powder.
Say it in Spanish. Meringue. I can't say it.
Meringue powder.
Yeah.
Sprinkle in a teaspoon of water until you can press your thumb into the mixture and the print remains. Fill the molds with this mixture, pressing the back and ensuring it's as flat as possible. Make sure to leave a sliver
What that was.
to leave a sliver of space at the back of the mold. This makes it easier to remove the skull intact. You may want to use a butter knife to ensure that the back of each mold remains flat. Making sugar skulls would be a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Flip the mold over onto a flat plate. If using a silicone mold, you can lightly press the face of the mold for a release. With a plastic mold, you may need to tap with the flat side of a butter knife. Allow the skull to dry for 24 hours. That was what I'm saying, I'm pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
After they have dried completely, use the icing and other tools to decorate as you wish. If attaching non-edible elements, use the icing as glue. Allow to dry another 24 hours, and then they are ready as offerings. A sugar
How come you
skull.
think they don't make them out of sugar anymore? The only time they make them out of sugar is just for Días los Muertos.
Yeah.
The other times they just make them as
Yeah, offerings.
offerings. They don't make
Soul
them.
cakes. In the British Isles, the poor often went to prosperous, yeah, I was going to say pompous, prosperous houses on Samhain night, seeking aid in the form of food, money, and prayers, and they offered prayers in return. Often the people visited provided soul cakes as a sort of payment for the prayers and blessings that they offered to their dead. This dry cookie makes a nice addition to any dumb supper you wish to host.
A dumb supper. That's something you need to explain to them what it is.
Okay, hopefully they
Doesn't
have
need
it
to
in here.
Explain what it is in there. If they don't, let me go pull it up.
Okay, the ingredients for this is 3 eggs, 2 cups of flour, almond and oatmeal flour make good substitutes, 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup milk, 1/2 cup sugar or maple syrup, 1 stick of butter, 1/2 cup raisins. Damn, that sounds actually good. Preheat oven to 400 Fahrenheit, so that's probably about 60 to 70 Celsius. Beat 1 egg and set aside in a small bowl. Combine the flour and spices in a saucepan. Heat milk until hot to the touch. In a mixer, cream together the cream together the sugar and butter. Oh yeah, okay. Add the egg yolks of the remaining 2 eggs and blend ingredients thoroughly. Add in the flour and mix on high until the mixture crumbles. Gradually add the milk until a soft dough forms. What?
You know what it said on
Let me see if they have a dumb supper on. Hold on.
here. I'll tell you.
Okay, wait, let me finish reading this. Hold on. Because dumb supper ain't a part of. Yeah, it is. Hang on a minute.
Is it in there?
It ain't a part of Halloween, is it?
Yeah, it actually is. It's
Okay.
the shaman.
Oh, it's part of Solomon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Says why hold a dumb supper?
Okay, hold up.
on
Hold
Solomon?
Okay, hold on. Okay.
It's the right night.
Turn. Okay, gradually add the milk until a soft dough forms. Turn the dough out on a flat, clean surface and knead until it is uniform. Roll into a cylinder, then cut it roughly half-inch slices. Lay out on baking sheet and brush with the reserved beaten egg. Bake for 15 minutes until golden brown. All right, let me see. Do you want to talk about it or you want me to do it?
Do you have it?
It doesn't. It goes on to the crafts, like the pumpkin craft. I don't think it talks about the dumb supper. It goes into prayer and invocations.
Sure.
Okay, she's gonna. Or maybe I could pull it up.
I'll tell it. Just
Go ahead.
okay. A feast with the dead. How to hold a pagan dumb supper for Samhain. You don't need a seance or a formal ritual to speak to the dead. That's what it said, and that's what I was laughing about.
Oh God.
Okay. Although traditionally a seance is a good way to communicate with those who have crossed into the spirit world, it's also perfectly fine to talk to them at other times. You may find yourself walking into a room and suddenly remote someone you've lost or catching a whiff of a familiar scent. You don't need a fancy or formal ritual to speak to the dead. They hear you, which is true. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm like a conduit. They come to me all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm always, Tabitha's like, Mom, can you quit? I'm always smelling things.
She
always.
smells too much.
I feel things. And she tells me I'm crazy. She's always telling me. I mean, it's bad when another witch tells you you're crazy because you smell too much or you feel too much. You hear too much. I mean, you hear too much. You see too much. I mean, I can't help it. I mean, it's there. I mean, what am I supposed to do? It's there. I can't help it. Okay? Okay. Why is this on Samhain? Okay? Why hold a dumb supper on Samhain? It is traditionally known as a night when the veil between our world and the spirit world is most fragile. No, it's when it's open the most. It hasn't actually closed in over, let's say, about 3 or 4 worlds. 3 or 4 years. It hasn't closed. It's a night when we know for sure the dead will hear us speak. They hear us speak at any time. All you got to do is call their name and they hear you.
But they're walking among us on that time.
And maybe even speak back. It's time of death and resurrection, of new beginnings and fond farewells. Please keep in mind that there is no one right way to hold a dumb supper. I mean, you can hold it any way you want.
Yeah.
You know, the people in Mexico, I posted it on, it should be in our files. I posted many times how people in Mexico, the reason I post that, because to me it's the most beautiful thing ever, how they do theirs. It's beautiful. I mean, there is no other way to say it, but it's just absolutely beautiful.
How they do Dias Las Muertes.
Yeah, they get moans for 3 days, and they start like weeks ahead of time to start going to where their
loved ones
families are, and you know, it's the children, the whole entire family. They set them up for days.
They have picnic on top of their family's graves.
Yep.
They talk about the memories.
Yes.
They have feasts, picnics,
and, you know, they
everything.
set it up with the rosaries,
Mhm.
everything they put on them. and they are just so pretty. How
They appreciate their dead. They
Yes.
never forget their dead. They honor their
they
dead.
honor 'em. And then
And
in other countries, what they do is they never bury their dead. They place them on top of the ground, just like they were when they died. And
Yeah.
they have them fixed where nothing can, damage them. And
kind of
then
like
they just
mummification almost in
Yeah.
a way.
and they go and
So-
they cleanse them
Mhm.
every year on the day that they, Días de los Muertos, but they don't call it that.
Yeah.
But they go and they clean them. They pay homage. They do their feast and speak with them and spend time with them and stuff. Every country has their own way of doing Day of the Dead. They spend that time with them when they go and they speak with them and, pay homage to the dead and, have that moment with those dead people, and let them know that they're thinking about them, that they miss them, they love them, and, that they
They're
commune
never
with them.
forgotten,
Yeah, and let them know they're not forgotten. And, it's a beautiful thing. And, people in America, they're not like that. There's people, they go out to the graveyards and they still, they'll spend hours out there and, speak with the family and stuff, and it's a good thing, I miss not being able to go see my dad,
Don't get too far on that topic.
I
It's
know,
going
I
to bother
won't,
you.
I won't. And it's really hard. I mean, health-wise, I can't do it.
I'm going to start reading it again in a minute, but we're talking about Días Las Muertes.
It's just hard. But, going to see in Días Las Muertes, go look it up on the thing, the different countries, especially Mexico, Spain, Italy, the countries like that, on how that they worship that time, how they spend that time. It's so beautiful. Okay, this is the menus and the table settings that they do for.
She's talking supper for
The
who
dumb supper,
joined
yeah.
us. She's talking about the dumb supper
Yeah, I'm
real
going
quick.
back to the dumb supper now. Sorry about that. Okay, the menus and the table settings. Your menu choices are up to you. Okay, but because it's Shaolin, you may wish to make the traditional soul cakes, which Tabitha told you
The
how to
soul
make them,
cakes, you have to go back further in the video and you'll hear about how to make the soul cakes.
as well as serving dishes with apples, late fall vegetables, and game if available. Game is like some people would like to do like the squirrel, venison, the different
Deer,
wildlife,
moose.
the stuff of fall time, that rabbit, quail, stuff like that, if you're into that. Okay,
Buffalo.
late fall vegetables and game if available. Set the table with a black cloth, black plates and cutlery, black napkins. Use candles as your only source of light.
Ooh.
Black, if any, can be found. Realistically, not everyone has black dishware settings around. In many traditions, it's perfectly acceptable to use any combination of
That's
black and
aesthetically
white.
pleasing.
Although black should be permanent color. To me, I like the black and purple quite seriously. If you can't find black,
That's pretty cool.
purple as well.
Who is it?
Strong TX. No.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, we don't want no Trump. No.
Yeah, Trump TX. Fuck that shit.
Okay, the host and the hostess's duty. When you're hosting a dumb supper, clearly the point is that no one can speak. Okay? It's all silence. You don't speak.
That would be so uncomfortable. I'll be like,
And that makes a hostess job very tricky, especially if it's near Tabitha. Yeah. It means you have the responsibility of anticipating each guest's need without them communicating.
I'd be like, man, I'm done. Y'all gonna talk.
Depending on the size of your table, you may want to make sure each has its own salt and pepper, butter, etc. Also, each guest to see if any needs a drink refill on extra fork to replace the one they have dropped, or more napkins. Like me, I'm a drooler, so I need like a big old shit.
The dumb supper. No wonder why it's called
Oh,
a dumb supper.
It's called the dumb supper because you don't talk. Okay, the dumb supper.
Oh my
This is what
God.
goes on. In some pagan traditions, it has become popular to hold a dumb supper in honor of the dead.
Okay.
In this case, the word dumb refers to being silent.
To honor the dead and be
Yeah,
quiet
it's
and
being
memorial
quiet,
to
being
them. Okay,
silent,
I get
yeah.
that. I get
The
that.
origins of this traditions have been fairly well debated. Some claim it goes back to the ancient cultures. Others believe it's relatively a new idea. Regardless, it's one that's observed by many people around the world. When holding a dumb supper, there's a few simple guidelines to follow. First of all,
I have to make my own
make
rules.
your dining area sacred, either by
Yeah.
casting a circle, smudging, or some other methods. Turn off phones, televisions,
That would
eliminating
be a
outside disturbances.
Yeah.
Secondly, remember that all now I'm being talented.
Eating words.
Secondly, excuse me, I had to belch. Remember that this is a solemn and silent occasion, not a carnival. It's a time of silence, as the name reminds us.
Oh, everything I host is a carnival.
You may wish to leave younger children out of this ceremony. As each adult,
Well, I don't have younger.
I have to be left out.
So that's me too, so we couldn't host.
I ask each adult guest to bring a note to the dinner. The note contents will be kept private and should contain what they wish to say to their deceased friends or relatives.
I like that. So they can like maybe burn it like in like a fire pit or something.
Just wait a minute. Set a place at the table for each guest and reserve the head of the table for the place of the spirits. Although it's nice to have a place setting for each individual you wish to honor, sometimes it's not feasible. Instead, you use a tea light candle at the spirit setting to represent each of the deceased. Should shroud the spirit chair in black or white cloth. You know how I think that you could do it if you're going to have, like, if you got a huge table.
Yeah.
And the table's full and you got the heads.
Yeah.
For each, instead of having just one place setting for each, you could use like a cloth, say, for each.
I would do like something like, because we would do it for
each.
Grandpa, and we would do something like with like a pipe, because that would be like traditional for Grandpa.
Like if you have a lot of people, and set like you can't set a head for each person and put a tea light. No, what I would think I would do is like I would put a cloth for each person that is deceased. That we're honoring.
Because see, we wouldn't just honor people; we'd also honor our animals too. Because
we would honor the whole thing, so we would put something for each there at the heads.
Yeah.
So it would be noted, and we would put a name for each one of them, so that each one would
like like cards, like name cards, like place card holders. That's such a kind of cool idea. But see, we would. I mean, I would occasionally talk, but not as much as we would tend to. You know, be more silent than usual.
Yeah, it's more like a funeral type setting. You know, like when you're going to a funeral.
Like a funeral dinner.
Yeah, it's like a funeral, you know. Or, you know, like the ones that...
But they still talk, though.
Wait a minute. Let me start over. That was the wrong word. Like when you're doing, what is that thing when you go to church and you take the blood and the... You know,
like Easter Sunday. Like the blood of the Christ. And
what is that called?
Passover Sunday.
No, not that. The thing you do before then.
Like communal?
Communion, yeah. When you do communion, you're not allowed to speak. Remember, once you go into the door, you're not allowed to talk.
Yeah, I know, that was so weird. That felt so odd.
It's like communion type deal, where you're not allowed to speak at all when you want you to enter the door.
And to be honest, that felt like such a ritual and spell to me as a child.
That's what it is. You're honoring God as dead. You know,
I mean, I'm over here drinking his blood and eating his body. I'm like, I feel like a fucking cannibal. I'm like,
that's why
I'm a zombie. I'm a zombie.
Okay, anyway, getting back to it. No one may speak from the time they enter the dining room till the time that they leave. As each guest enters the room, they should take a moment to stop at the spirit chair
Yeah.
and offer a silent prayer to the dead.
Huh.
Once everyone is seated, join hands and take a moment of silence. Bless the meal. The host or the hostess who should be seated directly across from the spirit chair. So say like the spirit is here, the hostess or the host to be across.
Okay.
Okay. Serve the meal to the guests in order of age. So whoever's the oldest,
We get
To the
first.
okay.
Okay.
No one should eat until all guests, including the spirits, are served.
Wow. Okay.
When everyone has finished eating, each guest should get out the note to the dead that they brought. Go to the head of the table where the spirit sits and find the candle for your deceased loved one. Focus on the note and then burn it in the candle flame. You may wish to have a plate of smoke or cauldron on hand to catch the burning bits of paper, and then return to their seat. When everyone has had their turn, join hands once again and offer a silent prayer to the dead. Everyone leaves the room in silence. Stop at the spirit chair on your way out of the door and say goodbye one more time. Offer shaman rituals. If the idea of the dumb supper doesn't quite appeal to you, or if you are darn well that your family can't be quiet for that,
That's us.
you may want to try some of these other shaman rituals. Celebrate the end of harvest, honor the ancestors at Shaolin, hold a seance at Shaolin. Okay, I'm going to send this to the witches group, okay, y'all? Because I can't.
That's cool.
So I'm going to send it to them. So it'd be much easier. That way they can read it themselves and not hear me being silly with it.
Yeah, because we couldn't be quiet to save our lives. I mean, we could.
We could.
But Xander would have the giggles.
I know Xander would be making us laugh.
God, he would. I'm like, all right, Grandpa Junior. Like, God. Great Grandpa Junior. You guys are my grandfather hook, line, and sinker. Okay,
Tell them I'm sending it.
Okay, she's on it. Hang on a minute.
And I put one P, not two. It's not a dumb super, it's a dumb supper. And that page I sent is a good page. Follow it.
All for the cooking stuff?
No, I'm talking to the group. Tabitha, you can follow it too. It's good.
Okay. Which ones?
The pagan, learn pagan. Once you open the dumb supper one, it's that one.
Okay.
Ooh, what is it? Oops, tacos and jalapeno salsa. Oh, fudge. Oh, it's good. Mm-mm. Except I wouldn't be putting that other stuff on it.
All right.
Now after we talk,
I'm over here trying to look at it.
you should right up at the top of it over to the left-hand side.
I don't see it.
Yes, tells you what group it is. Tells you the name of the place that I got it from.
Oh, learnreligions.com?
Yes. They're like they teach all religions. That's where I use a lot of different groups like that when I'm in a hurry to find something I can't remember.
Let me bookmark it. Bookmark this tab and put it in my supernatural explanations. Done. Okay, that's a done deal. Okay. Moving on. Now we're on to griddle cakes.
Mm.
The Irish often served griddle cakes on Samhain. No wonder my grandpa liked pancakes. Mm. And All Souls Day. These, much like pancakes, go best with syrup and hot butter. Ingredients: 2 cups of flour, 3/4 tablespoons of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup whole milk or yogurt, and sunflower oil. Sift the dry ingredients together, taking time to whisk with a fork so that the powder blends fine. Add the milk or yogurt a little bit at a time until a dough forms. Shape the dough into 2-inch circles, ½ inch thick. Fry into a tablespoon of sunflower oil into pan over medium heat. Make sure to brown on both sides. My grandpa would eat that up.
Every time I have pancakes, it come and eat them up.
Coal cannon Irish stew. You're licking your chops just hearing that. Okay. Let's see why you're licking your chops. Coal cannon is an Irish stew once properly served on Samhain in Ireland. It was also featured in several different divination and magical traditions of the time, perhaps because it typically included potatoes and kale. All right, Grandpa. A potato masher makes this recipe much easier, but a fork and determination can get the job done. But my grandpa hated peeling potatoes, though, but he sure liked eating them. 1 head of kale or cabbage. Oh, he loved cabbage.
You like kale too?
Oh, yeah. With leaves sliced thin, 1 stick of butter, divided into 3 pots, 1 cup of milk.
Actually, he's the one that taught me how to find kale.
Oh, really?
Because when we went to Oklahoma, kale grew wild, and he would go and pull it up out of the yard and eat it.
To Irish. 7 to 8 potatoes, peeled and chopped. 1 tablespoon chives for garnish. Cover the kale with water and boil until it wilts, but the leaves remain green. About 30 minutes. Drain the water and chop the kale into fine slivers. In the same pan over medium heat, add 1/3 of the butter. As it melts, stir in the kale. Add the milk and bring to a light boil. Next, add the potatoes, mashing them with a fork while they cook. As the potatoes soften, the mashing becomes easier. The potatoes are done when they have the same consistency as mashed potatoes. And the next third of butter makes a center in the resulting potato mound, and add the last third of the butter. Add any garnishes and serve warm. Lamb's wool. Doesn't sound good. Think of this beverage as a Scottish answer to sangria. While the flavoring varied by geographic and preference in Great Britain, lamb's wool typically considered of half ale and half cider. Heated with what spices were available. If you have a crock pot or even a pot on your stove, you can give this a try. Ale light. Cider, 1 tablespoon cloves, 1 tablespoon cinnamon. Stir together the ale and cider, add the herbs, bring to a simmer, serve warm. That's making my throat crumble there. Now we're moving on to the crafts, 125. Halloween and Samhain abound with crafting opportunities, along with creating your own pieces of art to fill your home with a loving, spooky spirit. I know. Okay. You can also turn crafts into magical tools. What?
Is that what HEB?
Not that I know of.
This was not in the freezer yesterday.
Adrian and him did this morning.
So did they buy that for me?
I don't know. You can ask Adrian.
Dre, come here. I'm asking.
After all, function following form is how many a kitchen and hedge which operates. You can go kid-friendly with simple crafts that require basics such as glue, popsicle sticks, and paint, or you can go advanced while using scoring knives and grown-up glue such as Mod Podge. Think about your home and the way you practice faith and magic. Think about the type of solemn celebration you want to have and then create accordingly. Pumpkin crafts. No vine appears so prolific, prolific, profilic.
Spell head.
It's pro and Lific. Profilic.
Which side?
Right side, and it's down by the pumpkin one. Profilic.
No.
Under the pumpkin crafts?
Yeah.
Mom,
Yeah.
you need to pay for the extra slice.
Profilic?
I know. Yeah, I think it's Profilic.
Whose pizza's trying to eat who?
That's mine.
You can
I
have
got
it.
one.
You can
I
have
haven't.
it.
We'll share it.
You're gonna have it with
I
grandma.
haven't had any of it either.
Profilic.
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 I can't even see the word. Underneath. Profilic.
I think it's Profilic.
Okay, pronounce it what you want.
Profilic.
Whatever. It's a word.
As the pumpkin in autumn, from many versions to fruits larger than a mastiff. Any person can find something that suits the scale of his or her decorating ambitions. Thanks to their extreme abundance, many crafters and artists have come up with all sorts of innovative ways to use pumpkins in creative expression. The carved pumpkin originates with the Irish tradition of carving turnips and beets. When the Irish came to New World, pumpkins became their preferred Hallows night lamps. Nowadays, jack-o'-lanterns still sit on many a porch, though in some areas they often fall victim to Halloween vandals. Live and wait. Oh, if you live in an area where your pumpkins might go untouched, you can go ahead and scoop and carve per tradition, or you can try some new methods of pumpkin crafting. Scoring. Pin or tape a desired pattern to your pumpkin. Use the linoleum cutter to cut the surface skin of the pumpkin along the lines of the pattern. Remove the paper and
The only words that you did tell me.
I know it's linoleum, linoleum.
Linoleum, probably.
It's Linoleum.
Linoleum, probably. I don't know. I have to look at words.
It's weird. Okay. Remove the paper and scrap off the remaining skin with a spoon, taking care not to cut through the pumpkin. Decoupage. If you decide to decoupage your pumpkin, you will be painting it with glue. If you do this, you will have to give up eating it later. While the glue might be non-toxic, it's hard to tell what is in the items you glue to the pumpkin. Before you begin, you might want to dilute your glue with water. This makes the liquid thinner and easier to work with, especially when painting painting it on a large surface. Proportions for diluting are a matter of personal taste. In a empty container, don't use one you use for food. Pour out a little glue and add a little bit of water. Try adding 1/8 teaspoon water for every tablespoon of glue. Add more water as you see fit. You'll need newspaper or a drop cloth, a counter for water, of course.
You asked it like it was a question. A drop cloth?
I know. Glue such as Mod Podge, brushes or rollers, items you wish to glue on your pumpkin, i.e. small charms, paper printouts, magazine cutouts, and or strips of fabric, an acrylic spray, hot glue gun, optional, scissors. In a well-ventilated workspace, lay down the newspaper or drop cloth, set out a container of water to dilute the glue. Pick one selection of the pumpkin and add a light layer of glue with a brush or roller. Once you have coated the pumpkin, add the paper or fabric you want in that section. Add an additional layer of glue over top. You may need to pause to roll out wrinkles in the paper or gently straighten bumps that appear as the glue dries using light pressure with your fingers. Once you have applied the paper and glue to the first section of the pumpkin, rotate and repeat until you have finished. You may wish to add a few additional layers of glue to all the sides. Of glue to all sides of the pumpkin. I jumped ahead of the gun. Gotta love when you do that. The glue will dry clear, so paint it over top of the images. Allow the glue to dry overnight. Take the pumpkin to a well-ventilated place, such as a porch or a garage, and coat it with the acrylic spray. Allow it to dry, and then add an additional layer of acrylic. Allow this to dry overnight. If you wish, after use of hot glue gun to apply charms, beads, or small toys to pumpkin, allow it to dry overnight, and then place it where you wish to display it. Duplicate pumpkin. Decoupaged pumpkin. Okie dokie. Print. If you would like a fast and dirty way to decorate a pumpkin, just print on it. All you need is a permanent marker and a word and a few words in mind. Write on your pumpkin in large letters, "Eat my shorts." They said dirty.
Oh my God.
You might want to be quirky, leaving messages like "Eat at Joe's." Well, mine was funnier. Or go referential, such as "Nevermore." If you have the skill, you may want to draw silhouettes or even sketch portraits, write a poem, tell a story, or just leave instructions for a package delivery. Don't leave it up my ass. Please don't steal my shit, you little fucking brats. That's why I have cameras, so I can fuck with the kids on Halloween. I'm gonna scare the shit out of them.
There ain't gonna be any. There hasn't never been one.
Oh, they walk by. You better best believe I'm gonna scare them like they did on that one. I'm gonna scare them. I'm gonna fucking scare them. I'm gonna scare them.
You guys are gone, and I'm staying here. I don't see no kids.
Trust and believe we're gonna be here on Halloween, so I'm gonna fucking freak them
Oh,
out.
that's right. James at work. Are we
Yep.
gonna have candy?
I don't know.
Come
I don't
on, we're gonna have some candy.
I'm gonna try.
Some.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy some if I have my money.
Okay. Pin it. Oh boy. Voodoo doll pumpkin. Pumpkins have spongy tissues with the same consistency as a cork. Oh, God. I'm going to pin it in my wine bottle. You can use it as a de facto corkboard or even spell a few things out with pens. Pick a side of the pumpkin and push in pins or tacks. Get creative and make shape, faces, runes, or even an image of a favorite tarot card. Ooh.
Would you put me in such a thing?
I'm glad I'm relaxing you.
Yeah, this is all like, keep reading.
I'm glad I'm relaxing. Great. I'm turning into an ASMR person. Fuck. Costumes. Part of the joy of Samhain comes from the chance to be someone else for a night. In a way, it's a form of travel, an opportunity to experience your everyday past through the eyes of a different personality. Some pagans incorporate costumes into a magical practice called aspecting, where they temporarily assume a part of another's consciousness. This happens most often in a Wiccan ceremony called drawing down the moon. In this ritual, often the person steps aside and the goddess invoked takes charge. There are those who also practice a variation where they temporarily share consciousness with the deity. Some see it as a magical version of method acting. Wearing costumes at Samhain dates back to the early Druids, where villagers dressed up as animals. Commercial costumes, however, did not appear until the 1930s, when the Irish in America began influencing the way all Americans celebrated Halloween. If you want to explore a different perspective, explore a few different approaches to your costume, assembling it with your own sewing skills, or putting together items you find at garage sales and thrift shops. A few items for a Samhain/Halloween costume. Dress as a god or goddess that you work with on a regular basis. Dress as an element of nature you are trying to learn and understand. Dress as a historic or mythological witch or magician. Circe, Medea, Nicholas Flamel, Joan of Arc, Heinrich, Agrippa are all connected to Samhain because of their contributions to magic and mysticism. I think it's Agrippa. Yes, Agrippa. Dress as the personification of an abstract concept such as a fear, love, mathematics, or quantum physics. As you go about Samhain in costume, observe how taking on a new persona changes how you think and how you see the world. After the merriment, meditate on the lessons you took from the experience. Hey, even take notes. Make a journal of it. Make a journal every Samhain journey and see what you learn. Make a mask. If you don't want to go full aspect, but still want to try a change of perspective, make a mask. While again, you can purchase a ready-made one, you can also make your own and adjust it to any worldview you want to experience. You will need a blank mask template, hot glue, feather, beads, ribbons. Glue the small items you have gathered around your mask in any pattern or configuration you like, taking care to leave room around the nose and eyes. You can also make a mask with a paper bag. You will need a grocery-sized paper bag, scissors, crayons, paint, or markers, a stapler. A sewing tape measure, sewing elastic, such as what might be used for the waist of skirt or pants. Cut out an oval, square, or circle from the grocery bag. Make sure the oval is large enough to cover your face. Cut 2 eye holes and a small slit around where your nose would go to face facially? Face, I don't know what that is. They facilitate breathing. Hang on, I had to put the words together with my dyslexiasness. Decorate the mass with, because they had the words separated. I hate when they do that.
I know.
Decorate the mass with crayons, paint, and so on. You know, it's kind of crazy with me being dyslexic and I read this good. And then they separate words, and I'm like, mug! Ugh. When finished, measure the circumference of your head and divide that by 2. Use that measurement to decide how much elastic to cut. Staple each end of the elastic so that the ends of the staple will not touch your skin. Spin your fears. This crap combines 2 magic-minded activities, meditation and divination. The simple wheel made from a paper plate gives you a playful way to explore the serious psychological aspects of the Samhain season. You will need construction paper, scissors, a paper plate, crayons or markers, a fastener such as the tape you get at an office supply store. Cut out a small... Man, they're putting some big words in this. Holy shit. Isolate triangle out of the construction paper, which will become a pointer. Set that aside. Take a marker and divide the paper plate into at least 4 pie-shaped sections. In each section, write the name of a fear or a specific Samhain-related theme. Take the plate fastener and use it to attach the triangle to the plate. When ready to meditate on a topic, spin the triangle and focus on the theme it picks for you. That's just kind of different. Make a gravestone rubbing. Those are actually pretty cool.
Yes,
I like those. This craft requires a field trip. Go to an older cemetery, one where there are more upright stones. This method does not work quite as well on the newer grave markers, as the modern markers have less texture, which is true. You'll need a large sheet of paper, such as what you can get from a jumbo drawing pad, a large crayon, or you can even use chalk. Go to a cemetery and find a stone with an interesting pattern. Place the paper over the stone and rub the crayon sideways in short, fast motions until the stone pattern appears on the page. Fill up the page with the pattern. When finished, name the person on the memorial and say thank you. Clean up the grave if it looks untended and make sure to pick up after yourself. Use these as a part of your Halloween decorations, or if you choose an ancestor grave, make it a part of your ancestral altar. Cast a cold eye on life, on death, horsemen pass by, and loving memory. So you can see gravestone rubbing. I've actually done a few of these, and I actually take pictures of gravestones. Make a partial. A partial is a type of cross intended to protect children from a mean-spirited fairies. While it came to be associated with the Christian cross, it predates its presence in Europe. It really works as more of an X-type cross, a figure that can often stop outside magic in its tracks or seal magic of your own. You will need 2 sticks. 2 sticks, any type of wood is fine. Wheat stalk, rye stalk, or corn husk leaves, twine. Cross the sticks to form a plus. Wrap the wheat stalks around the 2 sticks so that they weave together. Tie the twine along the same path as the wheat stem, adding a bowman's knot in the back to reinforce hang above your child's bed or even your own. Samhain ritual crafts. Many pagans have certain ritual items that they make themselves either to save money or because what they need isn't easily available in stores, which is so true. The following are just a few small things you might wish to make your own home ritual. Samhain oil. You will need 1 tablespoon sunflower oil, 1 tablespoon candela oil, 1 tablespoon marigold flowers, 1 piece frankincense resin. Combine all the ingredients in a small bottle and leave in a sunny window until ready for use. Samhain loose incense. Burn this herb, mix over charcoal briskets. You will need 1 teaspoon myrrh, 1 teaspoon frankincense resin, 1 teaspoon copal resin. Mix well, burn a pinch at a time. Samhain bath salts. You will need half a cup of Epsom salts, half a cup sea salt, 1 tablespoon vegetable glycerin, 10 drops basil essential oil, 10 drops camphor essential oil, 11 drops vetiver essential oil. Pour the salts and glycerin into a shatterproof container for safety in the bathroom. Add the essential oils, stir with a chopstick, shake just before adding to the water. Samhain divination potion. Drink this potion right before you sit down to the tarot cards or play a traditional Samhain game. It helps relax you enough to accept and consider images from your subconscious mind without incapacitating you. Don't take this if you plan to drive within an hour. You will need 10 drops kava tincture, 1 teaspoon mugwort, 1 teaspoon meadowsweet, dried orange peel to taste, 1 cup boiling water. Assemble ingredients in a tea strainer, steep for 7 to 13 minutes.
Oh, are you okay? He's all rubbing his eyes like yawning.
Remove the strainer and ingredients. Allow the tea to cool to a touchable temperature. Drink. Do not exceed 3 servings in an evening. If you are looking for more Halloween and Samhain crafts, be sure to check your local library as well as websites such as Pinterest, Craft Gawker, and About.com. Samhain is an inspiring season. You are bound to find some activity that suits your home and skill. I'm gonna stop right on decoration because we're getting close to being done. Because I think it's decoration, and then we're gonna hit, I do believe, rituals, prayers and invocations. So I'll be able to read a lot more on that later because I do want to start putting some more stuff in the group. So I'm gonna stop there because I've been reading for about an hour. So I'm getting caught up. I'll probably come on and read some more tomorrow. Because I do have some other stuff I need to get caught up on. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up. I know I've been bumbling here and there. If you would like to see more videos like this, please give me, some feedback here and there. That would be much appreciated. Positive feedback is great, not negative. I don't, I've gotten a lot of negative feedback here and there sometimes, and it's not really feedback. It's just really like negative comments that are just really not needed. And, positive feedback, hearing back from, people that are following is really cool to hear back from people that are just there to let me know that they're appreciating my videos and, you know, just let me know they're paying attention, you know, that I got them. So that's cool. Like I said, I will be doing more movie reviews. I will be doing music reviews. I will be doing more unboxings, tarot cards. I will be reading from Solomon some more. And I might be reading from some more books because I still have Yule to read from. I have a few others I can read from. That I'm doing this not only to educate people on YouTube, but I'm doing it to educate, you know, my students on Facebook. And you know, it might relax people just to hear other, because there's people that like being read to. It's like storytelling. So I don't mind doing it, you know.
She's putting my cat and me to sleep.
Yeah, I'm over here relaxing the Maine Coon. He's over here enjoying me reading to
Yawning
him.
and rubbing his eyes.
I'm actually relaxing the damn cat. That takes a lot to relax him because he's a wild child. He's like literally, like I'm over here putting this child to sleep. Like seriously. I'm over here like, I hope I'm not becoming an ASMR. Come on over here. I can't do that. That would drive me bananas. But yeah, I will have some more videos. I should have a Fright box coming in. I do believe, I don't know if it's gonna be November or December. But my birthday is in November, so I might have some
In
stuff to
2
show.
weeks from today.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today. So yeah, I'll be 39.
Oh my God.
I'm
My
actually,
baby's grown up.
I'm actually not ashamed of my birthday. I'm not ashamed of how old I am. I enjoy getting older. It doesn't freak me out. I know a lot of people freak out about their ages, but I enjoy getting older because, you know,
Age of 61.
I mean, I am, the only thing I don't like is just my body's just getting decrepit. But other than that, I enjoy aging because, you know, I get to see more and I get to see my kids grow. I get to see what they do. I get to see, you know, times change and get to hopefully see the world get better is what I'm hoping. And see what else happened. I'm intrigued to see what else may happen because I'm hopeful for change, and that's where my heart is. I'm hopeful for change because of the spirit that I am, because I've seen a lot. I have an old soul, and I feel that, you know, I know there's change coming and it's not going to be good this year, but I'm hoping that after this flip, it's going to be good.
It will be. I believe
So,
it's going to get better.
because I know that there's going to be a big tantrum happening. So I think that's the part that's going to be bad. But other than that,
Yeah,
I ain't
get
worried.
prepared for a lot of stupid shit when
But-
you get unelected.
I love you guys. I'm going to go post on my Facebook for a while. And y'all know how to message me. Y'all guys know how to get a hold of me. Comment down below. Let me know what videos y'all would like to see me post. Otherwise, y'all can comment on my other videos.
What kind of information they want to learn about.
Let me know what other stuff you'd like to learn, like in witchcraft, you know, as long as it ain't like, tell me how to really hex someone. Tell me what, you know, what ingredients I need. Don't be like that. Like if you want to learn like a certain crystal, what would help with this, what would help with that, you know, what book's good for this, and, you know, things like that, you know. I don't be afraid to ask a question because, like I said, you would not get ridiculed. I've had, you know, some shafty, shady people, but I'm weed eating them out on here. So it's going to be a safe environment. You know, you guys have to understand that even in the world, you can't
Actually, I think
always
our group-
hide. So
I'm very proud of our group. We've got it down to a really good group. You know, I have to admit to it. I'm proud of the group that we have right now.
yeah, so you guys gotta understand, to be like us, you have to have a strong backbone and you have to have a resiliency on this. I mean, it's taken me a long time to understand that I don't back down for who I am, for what I believe, for what I practice, and y'all seen that. So you guys have to understand, I know you're scared, like some people are scared of how their family may react or how their lovers may react, or in general of just how the world may react. We've been around for millennia and the world's still here. So if people, the way I feel, truly love you and accept you, they'll still be there. They're going to throw a tantrum regardless. They're going to find out regardless. So it's best to quit hiding because, you can't truly be yourself until you truly open up and just fly. Because it's just like being a baby and learning to take your first few steps. You got to do that because if not, you're going to be crawling around for the rest of your life and having your mama hold you. You can't do that. You have to learn to walk. And then you learn to run. And then you learn to feed yourself. And then you learn all the cool new stuff. It's just growing in life. You have to learn to take those steps. Because if not, you're never going to grow. You're never going to learn what freedom is. Like me, I can't drive because of my anxiety. And I wish to God I could. I wish to the goddesses and everything. And I'm doing everything I can. And I'm trying to get my rituals set to do this, but it's because I was in a really bad car accident with my mom's ex, and I think that PTSD has gotten me so bad to where I do not want to drive ever, and it scarred me so bad because at that time I wanted to drive. I wanted to get behind the wheel. I wanted to get my license. I was gung ho on it. I wanted my freedom. I wanted to fly. And after that moment, I never wanted to get behind the wheel of anything again. And what I'm telling y'all don't want to be in my situation. You don't want to have that fear. I've been persecuted because I've come from a highly religious family, and I got toe to toe with my grandmother, and I even told her face to face I was a witch, and I dared her to do something to me. And she beat me with her Bible. She beat me with rolling pins. And this woman highly abused me since I was a child. And I think I'm the only one out of my family that actually stood toe to toe with her and had no fear of her. So, and my mom did after I did.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, she grew balls with her at certain points in times. I do give her that.
I grew balls long before you did.
But like I said, you grew balls with her at times. I didn't say you didn't.
I grew balls before you even knew
But, a lot of people in my family were very scared of her and they backed down from her. And there's a few people in my family that's a lot like her still. And a lot of people in my family are entrapped by them and they can't get away from them. And I feel horrible about it. And there's nothing that I can do to alleviate that. I wish I could. But the best thing I'm doing is I'm trying to repair the pain that's within my family that had to suffer. And try to teach in the best way love and light with them. And kill off the abuse that she had brought in the family and make my boys understand that family is your backbone and you should love them and never dispute for sexuality or for your belief system or for anything else. And I'm going to make one more video after this because I do want to discuss something. So I love you guys and I'll see y'all in a minute.
Check it out, right? Great.